something that drives a lot of people in SAP crazy, those purchasing screens. Today, we're going to show you how to stop being a victim of the screen and start being its master. We'll turn that confusing mess of fields into something clean, simple, and built just for you.
You know the feeling, right? You open up a transaction like ME21N to create a purchase order, and bam, you're hit with this wall of fields. So many boxes, so many tabs, and you probably only use, 10 of them? It's not just messy, it's a recipe for mistakes, and it's just plain inefficient. But what if you could just make all that noise disappear? Imagine hiding everything you don't need, making the really important stuff mandatory so nobody forgets it, and basically designing a screen that works for you, not against you. Well, you can, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into right now. Let's fix this. So how do we do it? The magic behind all this is something called the field selection key. Seriously, this is the absolute foundation of screen customization in SAP Materials Management. You gotta know this.
Okay, so what is this thing, really? Think of it like a set of instructions for every single field on the screen. It's just a simple code that tells SAP, hey, for this field, I want you to do one of 4 things. You can make it totally hidden. You can make it display only, so people can see it but can't touch it. You can make it a required entry they have to fill in, or you can just leave it as optional. It's basically the remote control for your SAP screen.
Right, but here's the cool part. SAP doesn't just hand you one big clumsy master key for everything. Nope, it gives you a whole set of specific keys, each one designed for a different job. It's kind of like a mechanic's toolbox, right? You wouldn't use a sledgehammer to tighten a small bolt. You pick the right tool for the job. Let's open up this toolbox and see what we've got. First up, some of the big ones. You've got a transaction key, which, as the name suggests, is tied directly to the T-code you're using, like ME32 for changing a contract. Then there's the activity category key. This one's smart. It changes depending on what you're doing. Are you creating something, changing it, just looking at it? The screen can adapt. And one of the most powerful ones is the document type key. This is where you get to create custom setups. A perfect example is using the UBF key for stock transport orders. Why would you need to see a price when you're just moving stock between your own plants? You don't. So this key just hides it. So simple, so effective. But we can get even more specific. There's an item category key, which lets you tweak fields at the individual line item level. Think about it. The fields you need for a subcontracting item are totally different from a standard stock item. This key handles that. And then there's the release status key, which is just awesome for things like purchase requisitions. It lets you change the screen based on the approval status. So once a PR gets that final approval, you can use this key to automatically lock everything down so no one can change it. Super useful. Now, I know these codes, like the PT3F you see here, can look like a bunch of random letters and numbers, but trust me, there's a method to the madness. Let's just break this one down real quick. The PT at the beginning, that's just the standard prefix. Tells SAP what kind of key it is. The 3, that's SAP's internal code for the subcontracting item category. And the F at the end, that just means it's for a purchase order. So you see, PT3F isn't random at all. It literally means the key for subcontracting items in a purchase order. Once you get the hang of it, you can start to read them like a language. Okay, this is where things get really interesting. We've got all these different keys, right? Transaction keys, document type keys, item keys, and they can all be trying to control the same field at the same time. So that begs the question, what happens when there's a fight? What if one key says a field is optional, but another one says it's required? Who wins? Well, SAP has a very clear set of rules for this. It's all about priority. And the beautiful thing is, it's super simple. There are just 4 levels, 4 simple rules that decide the winner every single time. And here they are, the hierarchy of rules. At the very top, the undisputed champion is hide. If any key says to hide a field, it's gone. Game over. Nothing can bring it back. Next down the list is display, followed by required entry. And way down at the bottom, the weakest of them all, is optional entry. The easiest way to remember this? The strictest setting always wins. Hide is the strictest, optional is the most lenient. Let's make this real with a quick example. So imagine your document type key says the price field is optional. Easy enough. But then your item category key comes along for that specific item and says, nope, this price field is required. So who wins the fight? Well, let's look at our hierarchy. Required is stricter than optional, so it has a higher priority. That means the final result for the user is a mandatory required price field. Simple as that. Okay, don't panic when you see this table.
It looks complicated, but it's really just a visual representation of the rule we just talked about. It's the official SAP logic chart. Let's trace our last example again. Find optional entry on the side and required entry on the top. See where they intersect, the result is required. What if we had display versus required? Find where they meet, the result is display, because display is stricter and has higher priority. See? You don't need to memorize the table. You just need to remember the rule, strictest wins.
All right, we've covered the main players, but there are a few special ops keys I want to mention. These are for more specific situations, especially when you need to control things based on who the user is.
For example, in retail, you might see keys like UP2F. These are special keys that pop up just to handle fields for things like 3 bonus goods that get added to a purchase order. But a really powerful one is the user parameter EFB. Think of it as function authorization for buyers. This lets you tie screen behavior directly to a user's authorizations. You could, for instance, say that junior buyers aren't allowed to see or change prices. And when the system sees that a user doesn't have that price authorization, it uses a very special key, literally 4 $, SS, to go in and hide every single price field just for them. Pretty cool, huh?
So, let's bring this all together. What does all this technical stuff actually mean for you? Well, it means you've just been given the keys to the kingdom. You are now in control of how your SAP screens look and feel. And I'm not exaggerating here. If you're an professional or you're studying to be one, this knowledge is your superpower. It's the difference between just using the system and actually designing the system. You can now build screens that are smart, that are clean, and that are practically error-proof. That makes everyone's job easier and the business run better. So if you take away just one thing from this, let it be this. You are no longer stuck with the out-of-the-box SAP screens. You now have the knowledge, the keys, and the rules to create purchasing screens that are perfectly tailored to what your business really needs. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know how to do this, what's the first thing you're going to fix? Think about your daily work. Is there a clunky screen in the stock transport process? A confusing subcontracting PO? What's that one frustrating screen that you can now go and make better?
Hey everyone,